Welcome to What's on the Menu. We air live every first and third Sundays of the month. You can hear us on 102.9 FM, Boston Praise Radio and TV, what'sonthemenu.com, and all your favorite social medias. This week's topic, why do black men not marry? Here is your host, James Levesque.
And of course, Miss Wu-Tang Gang herself. How we doing today, Woo-Woo?
Very good. I brought a guest with me.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I did my part.
You came through in the clutch. Okay. Hey, how we doing today, folks? I trust everybody's in great spirits. You're feeling good. You're relaxing, whether you're driving in your cars or you're listening to us on the internet. Okay, we on Roku TV as well. Tune in. We got a good one for you today. Why don't black men want to get married? You know, this is a very sensitive topic, and because we know a lot of black men do get married, but we talking about the ones who don't. You know what I mean? Why, and myself included, why don't black men want to get married? So we're gonna introduce some of our panelists today. We have Mr. Vic, fashion designer. Okay, Chips Cookies Collection designer. He got some dope stuff out, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure y'all check him out. Vic, say what's up, folks.
What's going on? What's going on, guys?
Listen to that smooth voice. Listen to. We have Miss Positive Lala, who is a behavior mental specialist. Lala, say what's up.
Hello, guys.
You got to speak into the mic, Lala. Come on now.
Hello.
Hey, now there we go. All right, we got my main man, Frank Finkley, entrepreneur, just the overall good brother, fly guy. How we doing, Frank?
Doing good. What to do?
Hello, and of course we got Boston educator in the building. We got Miss Lavette Coney. How we doing, Miss Coney?
I'm very well, thank you.
Oh, I like it. We got this is funny how things just turn out. We got 2 women, we got 2 men. Okay, this is about to be really awesome. So, why don't black men want to get married? The reason why I came up with this topic actually, and the reason why I came up with it is because I just felt like I'm in a space right now where I want to get my life in order. You know what I mean? I'm about positivity. I'm about love. I'm about just doing something positive. And so, a lot of the times I talk to brothers who are in relationships and, they might be going through something with their lady or, and I'm just like, man, are you married? And they're like, nah, not really, so I really wanted to talk about why don't we want to get married, So this is open to anybody on the panel. Is it only the black race that has an issue with marriage?
No, James, I don't think so. Me being Dominican myself, just although also Hispanic men that also have trouble getting married, but I think it's just there's different things that come into marriage when you want to get married. There's a lot of this isn't obviously we're in new times. There's a lot of are you financially responsible, or do you have your career together? So I think there's just a number of questions you have to answer yourself before you can take care of somebody else. And a big something that I was always taught is if you can't, manage yourself or love yourself, how can you love anyone else or help anyone else? So
That's true. Anybody else want to comment on? Like, is it only the black race or black people who has an issue with marriage?
I don't think so. I think that we have different issues. I believe our mental health and our mental state of wellness and being is an issue. That's the main issue, and it's pervasive throughout our lives, right? I don't know if anyone's familiar with Frances Cress Welsing and her work, and
Who's
also
that?
Dr. Joy DeGruy about post-traumatic slave syndrome. All of these different things that have happened in the past are part of our present.
So you saying that black men's been going crazy or black women's going crazy?
And we're not recognizing it, and we're living in this bubble, and we're acting as if everything's okay when it's not.
Wow. That's a good, interesting point that you brought up, right? Because that leads actually to my next question, right? Have black men, right, suffered from divorce trauma? You know, whether as a young boy or as an adult. Do you think they've suffered from divorce trauma? I could think of myself, right? And I remember when I was a little boy, you know, and you know, like my pops, he was in a relationship and he got married, and you know they divorced. But my pops kind of handled it real well. But as a grown up, I remember seeing like friends of mine who went through divorce, and they was horrible. Should have seen them. They couldn't eat. You know, they was depressed. I was like, what in the world is wrong with you? You know, like why would, you know? So do we suffer? Frank, what do you think? Do we suffer from like divorce trauma?
No, it's not actually divorce trauma. It's just like seeing your dad or your mom having problems. That's just like family issues, basically.
Right.
To see that, and then we grow up into that lifestyle, it's like we try to avoid conflict because to hurt a female or to go through a passionate relationship where now your own feelings is hurt, you don't want to experience that portion of it. It's about your inside feelings. It's not really about being divorced or trauma in that sense.
So do you think, so being as a little boy, you see that, okay, these people could fall out of love. They tell him like, yo, they love you, I love you. Do you think they're going to fall out of love with me too as a boy? Do you think that as well? Does that play a factor? What do you think, Vic?
I don't think so. I think, you know, my parents have, unfortunately, my dad passed away 2 months ago.
My condolences, brother.
Thank you. But my parents were together for 35 years. I mean, married for 35 years. And, I've always seen, you know, there's always going to be fights, but I think it's up to the parents to kind of set those boundaries. You know, my parents always taught me that, listen, what they're going through is their business, and how they love me is completely different. Like, you know, the relationship that they have that's between them. So no matter what happens, that has nothing to do with me. Right. And as I continue to get older, I've always saw that. Like, you know, if I heard they're arguing, it would be like, you know, that has nothing to do with you. Or I would intervene and be like, you have no say in this.
Right.
It's just,
stay in your place, child.
So I think it's like your parenting skills.
Right.
But when I'm not a parent.
Right.
But for what I've seen, it's just how you are as a parent. Like there's no instructions. And I think it's just what kind of a parent you are and how you've grown up. And I think that's just one of those things on how men, black men and Hispanic men grow up to see, because, you know, some people grow up in houses that are not too, you know, great.
Right.
There might be a violent aspect in that home.
Right. And that actually goes into what Miss Coney was talking about, okay? That, you know, being in a relationship and you don't really know yourself. You don't know what certain things might trigger you, you know? And so does that play within, like, you know, men sometimes reacting towards, like, a violent way, or, you know, maybe come out of character, for example? Like, you know, what do you think? Go ahead, man. Speak up, Miss Lala. Go ahead.
Well, I agree with Vic, because it is the way you parent your child. It's very, very important. You could be in the worst situation, but if you remind your child that, you know, this is not you. This situation is not you. The environment is not you. They'll end up, when they get older, they could separate it. But if you don't constantly communicate with them and let them know things, then they have to figure out on their own, and that's when all the mistakes start happening. You could decrease the mistakes, because my son, well, when he was little, he almost was part of a domestic violence thing, but then I looked at my son, I was like, nah, I'm not going to let that happen. So I took him out of it, and when he got older, he used to always say, like, well, how come my dad this and that? And he could have got traumatized from that. I was like, no, because he went through his situation. It doesn't have to be you. So it's all about the parenting skills, I think.
I agree with that. Social learning.
Social learning.
Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, do remember, make sure you call us at 617-282-0685. 617-282-0685. I know you're listening. Don't be afraid to call up. Call.
So,
Okay.
you know, James, I am about statistics, so I'm going to read you some
Uh-oh. Wu-Tang Gang got the stats going.
Okay, so among black women, 70% of college graduates are married by 40, whereas only 60% of black high school graduates are married by that age. So I don't see a big thing that black men don't get married. I do believe 40% do get married, you know. So the other thing is the same trend is at play for black men. In 2008, 76% of black men with a college degree are married by 40. And in contrast, only 63% of black men with just a high school diploma tie the knot. But, I mean, that's only a 9% or 10% difference, right?
Right.
So, I mean,
I would just like to say, I'm very impressed because I check my Instagram all the time and I see black men get married all the time.
Right.
There's always a black man getting
Always a
married.
celebration.
And so that's what I'm saying. It's
But are they staying married,
I think it's
though?
just.
oh, well, that's a different question.
This should be a new topic.
Is it, are they,
Yeah, 'cause
Why
you-
black
no,
women get out of
exactly.
relationships?
I mean, I can't even comment on that. Just saying,
but they get married, though.
they
It's-
getting married.
Are they doing it for the gram?
I
Putting
don't
out the
Jeez, all
know
that
if
money?
wasting 50. I don't know if wasting all that money for the gram is just,
What is
I
the
mean,
gram?
Instagram, Wu-Tang Gang. Did you hear that, folks? You don't even know what the gram is.
I
Instagram.
thought you were talking about like cocaine or something.
No, we are not talking about that. Okay.
Now,
No, that's a good point. That actually, Miss Coney, I have a quick question, right? Do you think mass incarceration impacted the ecosystem of
Definitely.
the black family?
No doubt.
Okay.
No doubt.
You think it did? Why? Why is that though?
Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're creating an environment that's not natural,
Mm.
right? And so you're trying to make it natural, and so you're making it do what it do, and it doesn't do.
it's like what
Speaking
they
to the mic,
say,
speaking to the
you
mic.
put- Oh, I'm sorry. It's like, when you get crabs in a barrel,
Right.
It's just like putting people in prison. People are pulling each other down. People want to get up to the top, and I think what people don't understand too is with the mass incarcerations is when you put people in a box, no matter who it is, people switch. And that's the problem. People don't understand. Like, I've had friends that have done petty things and got locked up. They might have got a DUI. Nothing like criminal, where to the point where they harm somebody.
Right.
And not to say, and not to minimize a DUI either.
Right. That's
But,
pretty important.
He came totally. It was like he did like 3 months,
Right.
and he was a totally, completely different dude.
Right.
And I was like, "What happened to you?
Right.
In 3 months?"
Well,
That comes down to the person, because I just currently got released from prison myself.
Yeah.
In last February, so it depends on who you are as a person and what you want out of your life to say it's a system that's tarnishing you on the outside. If you go inside and come out to be something more positive than you went in there for, then you have a chance to grow. But if you go in and stay in that same stagnant mindset that put you in there, there's no space for growth.
That's a good point.
But don't you think if you have like networks and you have support, that's easier? And it also depends on what kind of environment you had prior to going in.
Well, speaking of myself, I had a good environment. 2-parent home, working, doing the right thing, children, taking care of them as a father. But I chose to make a mistake. I chose to do what I did to go get put where I was at. So it's not really an environment; it's the person. You make the choice. The environment they make you choose.
I want to just speak on that note. I wouldn't want to say right now, like as far as you being incarcerated right now. I'm speaking on the fact that I'm going back when we did have mass incarceration. It's not the same anymore. I think, and that's what I mean about like kind of the differences between now and back then. And even with this question, like, because I feel like this question is a question kind of like, why don't black men get married? It's kind of like a question we've been asking ourselves for a we've had this question for a while.
absolutely. Yep.
So when you answered that question, I felt like it was more of back then versus now.
You think so?
Like late 80s, early 90s and I think that's where you have to understand everything is a trickle down effect. You know, government, the way we live. I think we ask ourselves this question is because of what happened in the 80s and the 90s. You know, so whether it be drugs, jobs, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. But also, since you stated that it is, do you think like women have like less to choose from? Right? From the brothers?
They make it harder, to be honest with you. Because for one, I'll touch on that. Women sometimes are too controlling. They're too demanding. And at the same sense, a man's been taught to cherish, be strong, show strength, courage, support, take care of. But once those aspects are not met within that woman they choose to be with, now there's problems, there's conflict. So on top of that, that's why a lot of black men avoid marriage. Because you don't want to be controlled. You want to be a companionship. When I don't pull weight, you pull weight. When it's not going your way, not going my way, let's compromise. But there's no compromise. It's always conflict.
This is where I would differ on your perspective on like the environment doesn't matter. I think it really does, and your social learning does matter.
Yes.
Because in this case, women are going through a lot too, and I believe black men and black women, because of racism, institutional racism, ideological racism, how we internalize racism. So I really believe that it's inclusive of all of those things,
So that
and
means
that
racist
and when a
towards each
black
other?
woman, you have to ask why a black woman is like that.
Yes, that's
Because of the situation. So we're both in a bad situation. So there's no reason why we say, oh, no, you're more demanding, and no, you don't have a job, and this back and forth, and they'll realize we're in the bubble that was created for us
So we
by
racist towards
white
each other.
supremacy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I do kind of feel like women has taken on a more masculine role
Yes.
sometimes.
We'll let them, white men will let
Dominant.
them have more freedom, and like they're more quick to hire a black woman than they are to hire a black man, right?
Okay.
So I mean, I don't get it when you say
So the race, our own race, well, I'll answer it because I can see it in her demeanor.
yeah.
A black woman and a black man is in competition within a
Yes.
source. And it shouldn't be.
Right,
That's
right.
why it's not socially economic and this and that. We are racist towards each other. And that's all races.
I would differ on the racist to each other because you have to have power to be racist. So I say that we are
Facts.
biased towards one another.
Yes.
We are
100%.
prejudiced towards one
Yes.
another,
Yeah.
and we've been made to be that way because of the crabs in the barrel mentality.
Yeah, I agree with her 100%. And it is based on your environment. And honest to goodness, like if you, not to say, like if you have a friend, like say you have a white friend or Hispanic friend, and you go into their environment, you're like, wow, this is different. And it's because it's the way they're raised. And then, what's your name?
Frankie.
Frankie. I think we settle too much.
Who, black men or black women
Both.
that we settle?
Yeah, we get
Explain
too
that. Yeah,
comfortable
go ahead.
in a bad situation.
Right.
And then we try to bully that person. I call it bully because you constantly attacking. If you feel like it's not for you, you should just step out. Not to like, usually when they step out, it is cheating and then all that stuff. But why don't you just leave the situation if it's not for you?
Okay.
Right.
Stop
That's
pointing
right.
fingers. Stop saying this person's doing this. If it's not for you, if your heart is like, whoa, just go.
I believe also too we have this amnesia with the black paradigm and African paradigm because we usually have elders to help guide us, and we don't have that
We
anymore,
don't
have
right?
that.
So when you get married, when you go back, when you talk about, oh well, you get married, but you stay married. Why? It's because there's no one there to facilitate our like relationship, and to no one to lean on and talk to and say, well, look, this is what I'm going through. What things can I do? Because we have to rely on our own whatever we know and see on TV.
Right. And then
a
also what we
village.
grew up with as well too. You know what I mean? If you grew up in like a bad situation, you kind of going to react in that you're going to repeat that as
So
well.
we harbor feelings. We take them to the next.
Yeah.
To the next. We
Very
So
much so.
so let's say this, like let's say this as a black woman, because do you guys think who's at the bottom of the totem pole, the black man or the black
Black
woman?
man.
The black man.
Yeah.
Okay, so great. Now
I
we could
started a group for boys at the school, for black boys in particular.
Right.
Because I know what the situation is for them.
So absolutely. So knowing that, right? And let's say you're in a relationship, right? Now, if for whatever reason your man he might lose his job, right? He might have lost his job, and he's not bringing in what he's used to bringing in. So sometimes you might have to carry the weight, because black women now, they're getting hired, they're running business, they're doing their thing. So now, do they look down on the black man because he's not bringing in? Let's say he's not
bringing in what he used to.
But also he's not upholding his hand in financially. So do they look down on him? What do you think about that?
Okay, I'm older than everyone else on this panel, just to let you all know.
Right.
I'm 56 years old. Okay.
Fly 56 too.
So here's the thing. Women, I think, because of the social learning and because of society, and white society puts on us and tells us what to do, that they do that, but they shouldn't, right? Because there are things that the black man could be bringing to the relationship and to the union, right? Or whatever they're trying to produce together, right? So he may not have the finances, but maybe he's a carpenter. Maybe he can, maybe they can start a business together. They have to think outside the box, but because we're so confined with our thinking, that can happen.
Maybe he's a great cook and he does the dishes and he might chef up some good.
But that's the other thing. Does that count?
Yes, it does.
I'm just saying, not all women.
No,
not all women. That's what I'm just saying. Like, sometimes the grass is, we would like to think the grass is greener on the other side, but when you guys have a 2-family home, a 2-car garage, and things start to get tight, I don't know if that cooking's gonna.
Yeah, she's like, you gotta go home and get some. You gotta go out and make some money.
Exactly. So I'm just, like I said, I'm the youngest of 3. I have an older brother and older sister that definitely got married more than once. I personally have tried not to run that path myself. But I see certain, I've seen it from a male perspective, and I've seen it from a female's perspective on getting married, getting divorced. I've seen my brother and I've seen my sister, and it was totally two completely different.
Can I go back to your materialistic thing? Like, so that's another piece of our problem too, right? I think it's psychosis, right? And where we just try to emulate white people, right? So you have to have that white picket fence.
No, not at all. Not at all.
There's some people who think that. There are some people think that, or they need to have the 2 cars, they got to have the big house or whatever have you.
No, but what I'm saying is when what I'm saying to James is when you do have that,
if you got it.
Yes, and if you have a great marriage and everything is going well, and then he loses his job, is that cooking gonna, replace the money that he's not making anymore? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, when you live a certain lifestyle already, and I'm sorry, miss, but
I have a question for Miss Coney.
What he say?
I have a question.
But I still have some things to read.
Hold up, ladies and gentlemen, before we gotta get to our sponsors. Okay, we gotta get to our sponsors. Go ahead.
Our local sponsors: Urbanica Build and Design, Eddie Jenkins Law, Callaway Graphics, Sweet Embers Bakery, J. Rockwell Sound Studio, Shun's Kitchen, Janie Construction, Leo Papil and George Kramer, a couple of entrepreneurs and businessmen. Suya Joint, some anonymous donors, and I have to shout out to Jerry at Leading Ladies on Warren and Moreland.
Hey now.
My hairdresser.
Okay, they be hooking you up.
She does. Don't be making fun of my hair. So, national sponsors are Better Belly out of Chicago, Illinois, The Shop, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Epon Concept Productions in Miami, Florida, and Campaign Industries in Chicago, Illinois.
There we go. So, ladies and gents, we having a great topic here on why don't black men get married. And as you can tell, this is a very sensitive topic. And the fact that we're attacking it, that means we're doing good in the world, because we're trying to get people together. That's what we want to do. We want people to come together. We want the black man and the black woman to kind of see, what each other is dealing with, because we're dealing with a lot. And a lot of times we don't know we don't get each other. Let me ask you this question, ladies. Right? This is all for y'all. This is for every lady that's in the studio right now. Where do women go to learn about men? Who do y'all learn about men from? Where do y'all learn about men? Where do y'all go?
Good question, James. Good question.
Nah, I didn't learn about men from my father. I learned it from all my male friends. and based off my experience. So that's how I learned from it. That's all I got.
Okay. What about Wu-Tang?
I didn't learn about men from my mother. I mean, she always was with her one man, my dad. And like my thing about marriage would be based on what I saw with them. They're still together after 60 years, but their marriage, I mean, it was just a dominant male kind of marriage, and my mother just was like almost like the slave, the cooking, the cleaning, the going out. And then my dad sometimes would like check the mileage on the car, even if we just went to the shop. He was very accusatory. So I don't say I would ever get married.
You wouldn't get married?
No.
Oh, man.
No, there's no reason for marriage.
Okay. Go ahead, Miss Coney.
I wanted to say something about this whole idea about marriage. Marriage, if everyone understands the law,
Yes.
it is a business.
Yes.
Okay?
A piece of paper.
It's a business, and you need to go into it as a business. And going back to the materialistic things, and if you had that and then you lose it, if you had good business sense, you know how to prepare for a rainy day. So that's on the side note. But marriage, there's no reason to get married under white man's like ideology and their practice. It is a business. So if you are going in it to like, oh, I love you and we're going to be together forever and you're going to respect me and you're going to cherish me and you're going to in the state of Massachusetts too, no contest. If he cheats on you, so what? Y'all just have to part ways and figure it out. It's no sanctity there.
This is coming from a black woman, folks. I love it. So wow, that I've never. Now, that's why I think a lot of black men, we kind of like looking at marriage and we're like, we seeing, this dude just went through a divorce and he loses everything, loses all his money. So if you're like a smart dude, you're like, hold on a second, hold on, I'm not really going into this. Yeah, of course, you meet somebody, you fall in love, and you're like, oh my God, it's my boo-boo. I love her. I love him. It's my boo. Right? But then I think that's what kind of sucks you in a little bit. Then you get married, and then, things change, Children comes in, you know what I mean? You're working. You're not really seeing each other like that, So, and then boom, divorce happens. And then now, if you're the breadwinner, right? Like you're forced to give up a lot, You're forced to give up a lot. So the way that we're looking at marriage is kind of like interesting.
I say have ritualistic marriage. Just have a ceremony. Call it.
That was going to be my next question. What is a ritualistic marriage?
You can have your little jump over the broom. You can do your African ceremony. And you make a commitment on paper. I mean, even like if you want to, and say, okay, whatever is mine, I come into it. It stays mine after if we leave.
So we got a couple questions, folks, from our callers. I said,
don't forget Frank's question.
Frank's. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Hold on a second. Hold on a second, Frank.
Frank had a good question.
He did. We got my man B out of Boston, Mass. He says, it is African for the black man to have more than one wife. This brother right
starting trouble.
I like it. All right. He says, listen, he says, I think it's hard for some men to be with just one woman. Should black men and women get back to that?
Back to what?
Get back to having more than one wife.
Tell the brother. Tell the
brother
to do his homework. Because not all African cultures and societies have multiple women. There are only some. And just like Animal Kingdom, there are some that have multiple and some that don't. So it depends on the individual. So it's not get back to something that everybody got to do. Everybody's individual. Everybody going to do whatever they want to do. So if a woman want to be a part of an entourage, be a part of a harem, then she can do that. But there's some women who don't want to do that, and there's some men who don't want that.
That's true.
Yeah, it's costly, yo. It's costly. It's really costly.
Yeah.
Right? Unless you got the paper, I think you should just have one. What do you think, Vic?
Next question. I'm okay on that question.
Yo, so we have my man Eric. I'm sorry, we're gonna go to Vanessa. Vanessa, actually, she's from Coney Island, Brooklyn, New York. She asked, she wanted to ask the ladies on the panel, what's a good age to get married for men and women? What do you guys think is a good age?
I think 30.
30?
For both.
For both.
Yeah.
The man's frontal cortex doesn't fuse until around 30 years old. So yes, I would agree.
30.
30?
Yeah, 30 is a good age. Because you got all the 20s out, like you partied hard, you made all your stupid mistakes, not on camera. you know, and then the 30s is like, it's time for me to buckle up. You know, I want to buy a house, I want to have kids and stuff like that. 30 is a perfect age.
So I hear studies show that men doesn't fully develop till they're like about 40, in their 40s.
30s and 40s, yeah.
30s and 40s. So do you think like it's better for the man to like, you know, wait till he's like maybe like in his 40s? Because that's when he's fully developed. He's done all his stupid stuff, you know what I mean? And Vic, you look like you want to say something. What do you think, my man?
No, because then what about children? I mean, 40, that's kind of I don't know. I mean, if you about to get married, you better have some kids. I mean, are you saying that you could be with this person and you have kids and then you guys end up getting married? Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I mean, it depends. It depends, you know?
But, I mean, getting married and not having a family, that's tough.
Right.
For both men and women. Because then you're looking into, like, okay, we're in our 40s and we're married. Cool. But, you know, are there going to be children? You know, does the woman want to have children at that age? You get into a whole different type of subject.
Yeah, usually at 40, I don't like
Women want to.
mid 40s. I don't think women want to have kids at that point.
You all are forgetting about hormones, okay? And like when the eggs and when they're most productive, like women want to have children earlier.
I mean,
that's
then
what
scientifically, you could have kids later in life as women, but I think it's the energy. It's not like you don't have the energy to be running around a child. You just have to pay somebody to do all that for you because you're stable and stuff like that.
And not only that too, what about like birth defects? When you
You
get
gotta speak into the mic.
you
Gotta speak into the mic.
What is
you
it?
get
Down
birth
syndrome.
defects as well, like when you wait later. So for a woman to wait later, it's not men can wait later, women
Right.
can't wait later.
Now, can I ask you a question once again now? So, going back to the subject with age then, of a man's, like you said, a man's frontal
Frontal lobe.
Cortex.
cortex develops at 30 or 40. Now, his development's okay, but now, can he have kids? So that's what we're so it's
Men
once...
can have kids up until 90, right?
Well, but I'm saying, but his partner may not want to.
That's
So
yeah.
then again, we're in a catch-22.
Money.
So, you know, he got his stuff together, but does, you know, are you gonna want to give him what he wants now?
So here we go. I got another question that we got my man Antoine from the DC area. He says, I've been with my lady for 5 years. We have a 3-year-old baby girl together. All right. And we recently went to a marriage. A friend of mine's got married. My girl now is constantly bringing up marriage, but man, I am scared. What should I do? What should I do? What do you think he should do, Frank?
Ask yourself if you really love her.
And what is he scared about?
I know. You guys been together for a long time, unless there's something that's unbalanced in there.
You think she's gonna change if you get married, bro?
I think women change altogether, man. Come on, now.
I mean, yeah, but I mean,
you
change, of course,
change
no,
every
not that
day.
change, and I mean, in what she wants.
They need to talk to somebody and actually figure out what is it that they want in the future. Why do they want to get married? What is it gonna help change in their relationship? There are a number of things that he needs to delve into.
So,
Yeah,
being as the
sounds
oldest
like that.
statesman on the panel, right? Do you think this person should get married? Because I think he's a smart black man asking this question.
That's true.
And that's smart that he's doing that.
Yeah.
That's why he has to do his homework. And I'm not going to profess to know what is right for him because I don't know his total story. But he needs to ask himself a lot of questions, and same of her. And also, too, what do they want for the child? Now that they have a child, that changes everything, right? So what about the future of that child? What are they planning for that child together?
Wu-Tang Gang, you look like you want to say something. No. Okay, so
How much time we have
I was-
left?
yo, so Frank, you had a question that you
Go
wanted to
We
go
have
ahead.
25
I want to go
minutes.
back to the question about when Vic said about the material things in the two-car garage.
Okay.
Ms. Coney, you chimed in and said that that was like a materialistic thing, and black people, or the black man, or whoever that was at that moment, would emulate a white person. I really want to ask you, like, what would make you say that?
Because it's true.
Yeah, speaking to the mic, Miss Coney.
It's true from where I come from. Like I'm older than you, and so from my experience as a elder, that's how I feel.
You think the black man want to emulate the white man?
Yeah.
in the sense of wanting to have what they want. I mean, it's natural, right? We want to have whatever they have, right? And in history, that's just always been the case, right?
So
we don't look at it from our own perspective. We look at it from the perspective of the white person, because obviously they're the ones in power.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
that
I
means, so
agree.
you're saying that the black race is just weak, period. If
When I say that, it doesn't mean they're weak.
If we want to emulate what was taken from us, what we consider as the racial war as whites and blacks at times, then we're weak because we don't see what's been taken from us. Now we want what they have, or do we want what we was supposed to have, or what we deserve? Is that the right answer that you're going to
So
give?
now I see you perceived it differently than what I said it. So my intentions and your perception are two different
Listen real
things
well.
here. But no, of course, but you're listening from your own experience
Yeah.
too. So I did not say that. I think that we should be empowered economically, socially, politically, right? We should be able to get what we deserve because we built this country. So I'm not saying that we shouldn't have those things, but I also believe that we shouldn't have everything predicated upon it.
Do you drive?
Yes, I do. I have to. I have 2 boys, and they have AAU basketball. So yeah, I need a car.
She needs that whip.
Did you see TV show and see a white woman had a caravan and got a car for your 2 boys to get to basketball practice? Or did you choose to have that because you want to provide for your family?
Oh yeah, so you're getting it mixed up. I mean, obviously you're gonna want to have a ride, but what kind of ride? So you're gonna get a ride when you know you can't afford because you want to look like, you want everybody to think that you have something that you may not really have, or you're gonna have a ride so that you can be able to get your children a reliable ride to get your children from point A to point B.
But back to what we were saying about materialistic. When I came from that, what I was trying to say is people get things with the best intentions on having them, and especially a home. But things happen,
Right.
and you may not know what may happen, and the man might be the main breadwinner, and that's what I mean. What happens after the breadwinner can't come up with you know what I mean? With
that
even
money.
if you plan, and I think like you were saying, if you planned, that wouldn't happen. But sometimes
Things happen.
and and plans don't go accordingly.
Right, absolutely.
So that's all I'm trying to say on that basis. Like because I feel like I've seen in instant cases where people are good. They're making those payments because they're working and they're traveling, and next thing you know, cut. They're so used to the that going, that working, and thinking that money's coming in, that they're like, I'm gonna.
You good?
Yeah,
you
I'm
good?
good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah.
The
So-
reason
Go ahead.
why that falls apart is because there was no emotional connection. You understand? It was always the money. Like, I seen you with a nice car, I'm like, that's nice. And then you're talking, I'm not listening, I'm just like calculating in my head, like, when is he gonna buy me, like, bring me to Red Lobster or something?
Wow, Red Lobster. Red Lobster.
No, I'm just saying.
Can we get something off the dollar menu first before we going off Red Lobster?
That's how it falls apart. Just like a guy will see a girl, and the girl's smart, but he's like, when I'm gonna hit that. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So it's like, you guys don't have that connection. That's why it falls apart.
So that actually goes to what we was actually talking about in the hallway, right? Men don't really, do we buy the cars for ourselves, or do we buy the cars because we know the women like the beautiful cars and they're going to be attracted to them?
It's both.
Something just
Yeah,
clicked in-
both. I agree.
Something just clicked in my head to help you understand where I'm coming from, because I think we're on the same page, but you don't think we are. So I lost a relationship with a man who wanted money and he figured, okay, if he was with me, he would get those things. But I didn't want those things. So there was a conflict in the relationship because he wanted things
Okay.
and I wanted a relationship, and I'm not into things. I'm a teacher. How many things can I get as a teacher, as an educator in the United States?
That's true.
Okay, so that's where I'm getting at, right? That shouldn't be your primary focus. You know what I mean? Obviously, you want to want to be comfortable. You want to be comfortable.
Absolutely.
But it's just the fact that you just said the words wanted to emulate the white race.
Right.
It's just about what you want as a person. It has nothing to do with individualizing it against another race to say, I want something for my family to behold, for us to have and cherish. That's where I took it.
Yo, so I got another question, right? What do women who are in like their mid-30s, are successful, gainfully employed, or running a business, and wants to find a man, to get married and love them, what do they do? What do they do?
Jesus.
Yes, Lala.
You need Jesus?
Yes, Lala.
You need Jesus because when you become more successful, they get scared.
Who, the men get scared or the women get scared?
Yeah,
Or
they
is
get
that
very.
equal? Is that equal?
They get very scared, and it's not like you attack them like, hey, I got this degree. You just humbly, well, some girls, you just humbly like say like, I went through a lot. I started from the bottom, and I'm here, and then for some reason, because they're still going on that journey, they get scared.
Can I tell you something?
Tell me something.
I love black women, but there's
Say it, Vic.
there's certain things I feel like, we're saying it now, like you'll support the black, but things get rough. There's digs and little, like get your together or like hurry, so like let me not say all. Let me not say all. Let me not say all.
That's exactly what I meant.
But not all women. Not all women. But wait. But this goes. I'm sorry. This goes for all races too. I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
I apologize.
All ethnicities, you mean?
Yes, all ethnicities. I apologize. Yes. And I've seen this. Listen, I come from a Hispanic background. Like I told you, I have a brother and a sister that been through a couple of marriages, and I've seen it on both sides. From my sister, I hope she's not listening. And so I've seen where sometimes it could be like give him a chance. He's a good dude. But
See. But you don't see behind closed doors what they talk about in the bedroom. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't know how long she was talking to him, and he was like, I'll get it done. Then eventually, you're like, what's going on?
okay.
But then now,
That's true.
because then you start losing control, and now it becomes outbursts that other people see like, oh, wow, why is she going crazy on him like that? But you don't know how long she was waiting for him to get there.
Okay.
It's not like if she had a problem, she would have left him. But she's there, so she believes in him, but it's just that he doesn't believe in himself as much as she does.
Gotcha.
Keyword, control. Keyword,
It's
control.
not control.
Absolutely.
You got this thing about
I know.
control,
That's
Yo, so all right, here we go. I got a scenario for y'all. Okay, please answer this like as honestly as you can. A man loves two women, right? The first woman, he tells her, "I love you, and it's only you, boo. It's only you, baby." The second woman, he tells her, "I love you, but there's someone else." Who does he love more?
Himself.
right?
He loves himself.
Love
Of
himself.
course he loves
Oh,
himself.
okay, he loves
but
himself.
that's not the-
What would you say, Miss
I'm gonna
Coney?
say he's selfish. I agree.
Okay, what do you have to say, Vic?
Yeah, I would say that's a selfish move if he can't tell the two ladies what's going on. So
Didn't he?
But he tells one
He tells one.
what's going on.
But he's
No,
still
but-
with her, though.
Let me answer that. I feel like he loves the person that he's honest with, but he pities the other woman because it's like there's something that I think the one that he's with, like he says, is controlling and stuff like that. So he merges out, right? So now he comes across a woman that's under, like the one that doesn't talk much, but then she needs a little bit of help type of stuff. Then that's how it ends up being like that. So yeah, he does.
So
love
the one that
himself.
he can't control, he lies to, and the one that he can't control, he doesn't lie to.
He doesn't
think
like-
so?
Not that.
No,
No,
because
no,
he has-
no,
no, it
basically what
is.
you
It is
said.
because he has. He's gonna tell her the truth regardless because she talks
He
a
being
lot.
upfront to
But
both of 'em.
it's like they colliding all the time regardless. But the one that doesn't talk, he's like, what? I mean,
He's filling a void.
What
but
am I?
one's not giving, the other one's giving.
So you don't think he don't love? You don't think he tells the truth to the one? I think
He's telling the
personally,
truth to both of 'em.
personally, I think this is what I think. I think that he actually loves the one that he lies to, because if I love you, I'm gonna protect your feelings. Like, this is coming from a man's point of view.
Okay.
I'm gonna protect your feelings. But if I don't,
I think that's coming from experience.
absolutely,
Okay.
I've done that. You know what I mean? I'm being real. I've done that. I'm sorry. Excuse me, ladies. I apologize for my behavior in the past life. That was when I was a boy. When I became a man, I put away those childish things.
No, but you know what? What you said, I don't agree with it because when you lie, it adds up, and then when they find out, it's like a boom.
Oh, I already know. It happened. Yes, I already know.
But that's what your rationale was, though, when you did it, though.
That's what it was. Yes,
Exactly. But when
absolutely.
you tell the truth, yes, it's like a stab, but then it's like, oh shoot, now I know who he is. I mean, I could help him.
Right.
It's always like I could help that person get better. That's why you stay there and try to condition the person, and as he conditioned you. But yeah.
Okay. We have another question. We have my man Eric from Baltimore, Maryland. What's the secret to a happy marriage?
Ooh, I
What's the
can't
secret
answer
to a happy marriage? Anybody in here married? What's Pastor Wall? Pastor Wall married? I know he's not in here right now. What do you think it is? Okay. Yes, Renee. What do you think it is, Renee? Renee's married. Here we go, Renee.
It is many things. It's communication. It's willing to compromise. It's willing to support. In the midst of trials, you still stick together. You don't throw in the towel. It's a combination of things. I've been married 29 years, and I can truthfully say I still love my husband, and that's because of the support for one another. Because it's always going to be your ups and your downs, and in your difficult times. That's when the test really comes.
Do you think like your belief system in like
Absolutely.
the higher power, like
the
that?
Lord Jesus Christ, absolutely.
Okay, I
Without
respect that.
I would not have been married 29 years.
Absolutely. 29 years. Can we get a round of applause for that? Okay. 29 years. That's right. Okay. So you hear that, my man Eric? Okay. Make sure you keep Jesus in your life. Okay.
Or just be a spiritual individual.
Just be a spiritual individual. Okay. And so we have another question. We have Miss Tara, Chicago, Illinois. What are some questions to ask your partner to maintain a healthy marriage? Anybody? What are some questions that you could ask? Being a person who's married, Renee, what do you think, Renee? Some questions that we may ask our partners that, you know, to maintain just a healthy marriage.
I mean, to always understand there's different seasons in a marriage. So just asking the questions. You have to ask the difficult questions and the questions that may be easy. You know, your love language. You need to know one another's love language.
Oh, yes.
You need to know
5 love language. Make sure you get that book. Absolutely.
what turns him on. You need to also let him know what turns you on. It's not necessarily the
29
same
years.
thing.
29 years.
It's many things, but the key truly is the communication.
Absolutely.
When you're going through those rough and difficult times, it's being willing to have those difficult conversations, but at the end of the day, not holding grudges, because there's certain situations in a marriage that really can tear your marriage apart, and you have to be able to talk about those, but go away from those difficult conversations knowing that love still exists.
Absolutely.
So
Wow.
Renee, as a deep thinker, I'm just wondering, where did you get that wisdom from?
She's gone through it.
Where did
I'm
I
just
say
saying, like,
years.
somebody helped them through it too. I mean,
Ooh, okay, that's a
must
good
have been some
point.
facilitation, or maybe what you saw when you were growing up. I mean,
You
where
know-
do you get the wisdom?
You know what? It came from us, my husband
Together.
and myself, because marriage was not a part of my growing up. No one in my family was married. I was the first one to get married.
Wow.
And I wanted
Congratulations.
something better for my life. And when we went into this marriage, it wasn't just about what he had. It was the multiple things. It was who he was, who I was, what we wanted. Could we grow together? Are we looking for the same things? Are we willing to support, encourage, and love one another?
So
And
you
then
did
also seeing other marriages other individuals who have been married longer than myself, and observing that as well.
There you go.
But it came from us really being able to open up to one another and just tell each other everything, no matter how good or difficult it was, being honest with one another.
And what about your pastor too? Did you have a pastor to talk? Because I know that there are some churches where they have someone talk to them before they get married, to tell them or talk to them
I did
about
not have
it.
that. I did not have that.
Didn't have that.
I didn't have that.
So you
It was
kind of learn
after
on the
fact.
fly.
Well, right. We learned with one another.
Step by step.
But it was that communication. It's
Absolutely.
really the
Hey,
key.
so ladies and gents, we don't have that much time. Okay, we don't have how much time we got. We don't have that much time. We have a couple more
6
questions.
minutes.
Now, do you guys think does the entertainment industry or the music industry, just entertainment overall, do you guys think that shapes a man's perspective on if he gets married or not?
It used to.
Used
I
to,
think.
yeah.
I think times have changed, man. Things
Yeah.
are changing. Like we went through I think the last 20 years have been very interesting. You know, there's been a lot of ups and downs and economy. You know, just war. We've been through a lot.
Right.
That's a tough one to answer.
Go
In
ahead.
those last 20 years, you had a president, a black president who was married. I mean, does that? Do
Yeah.
you think that would influence the younger
Influence.
generation?
But that's what I mean. Times have changed. Things are getting back, and that's what I mean by
More
black men are
traditional,
getting
more
married
traditional.
because those last 8 years, the black men have seen that and and they think to themselves, "This is what we got. Look,
Right.
there's a black president married with 2 children, and I think
You-
and I
Jay-Z
think."
and Beyonce.
You
as
know
well.
what?
Jay-Z, that's what I mean. So
There's
things are
there's
changing.
a lot of entertainers
No, it's-
that's married.
Right.
They just say if it's a rapper, they just promote singleness, but they're really married.
Right,
You
right.
just don't see it. It's
That's
Yeah,
all
it's all
also true.
advertisement.
Snoop
It's
Dogg too.
advertisement.
Been married to what? His sweetheart.
Yeah, so
high
it's-
school sweetheart.
yeah.
Dr.
that's
Dre,
true.
Ice Cube, everybody been married. They just don't show it because it's
It's
a
part of the
thing about
life.
Sexuality sells. So if you know I'm married, you ain't gonna go buy my album.
That's
Yeah.
Really?
Point.
Wow,
That's where
really?
you talk about
Different
that crowd control. Like in
Yes, I agree. Go ahead. Yeah, I do agree. Your surroundings is big. Like if you're around a whole bunch of single guys and you're the only one that's married, man, oh man, you're gonna struggle
Absolutely.
like a lot.
Sorry.
But if you surround yourself around a whole bunch of people that's married, like you know, like she said, like she's seen a whole bunch of people that was married for a long time. That was her influence, and then between them two, they succeeded. But you're not gonna succeed if your homeboy saying like, let's go to the club and you know do this and do that. Let's go to Las Vegas, whatever happens.
No, you gotta tell no.
Say-
I am not going to Las
You
Vegas.
gotta have
Whatever
what you said
happened in
again, You gotta be
Vegas-
willing to respect your spouse.
Absolutely.
It's not about
It's not.
and go.
It's
Be
trust.
willing to
First is
respect.
trust. Trust is very important. If you don't trust the person, respect is not going to be there at all.
So let me ask another question. Like, how does a man know if he found a wife or not? How does a man know?
You close your eyes and pray to God.
Well, that's
I honestly believe that you all have to be friends first, like real
100.
first and foremost. You all have to be friends.
Can I say something?
ahead, man.
It's hard to. It's not hard to be friends with women these days, but a lot of women think you have other intentions. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean,
like
prove
it's
them
just-
wrong.
So women have entitlement issues.
But,
Prove them wrong.
but how if she listen? The woman has to be okay first for you to prove her wrong. You know what I mean? She
us
has
some
to let you
examples.
That's
in.
not true.
No, I mean, let's go out to eat. Well, I don't really know you like that. Okay, then, you know, like, I'm not gonna convince you to. I'm not taking you to Red Lobster. No, but
It's entitlement. It's
yeah, like, it's
entitlement
like I'm
issues,
taking
man.
you out to eat. I'm not. I don't want, like, you know, like, I want to get to know you, but it's not a thing where, like, listen, I'm not telling you to marry me or just
So
tell
did
me.
you tell her like I just want to get to know you? So here are some of the things that
No,
I'm
that's
want
an
to do.
example. I haven't actually. I'm just throwing that out there.
Honest to
Like,
goodness, I think you should do group things first. Like a group of people, then merge out. That's how she'll feel comfortable, especially.
but how about if
when-
it's not her group?
That's fine.
Well, if,
Yeah,
if,
women-
if,
She
if,
could-
if
she
you're not
knows- she could know. That's-
not
you wanna know
comfortable,
why?
You choose to be
No,
with,
you wanna
don't
know
stay
why?
out there like that. Stay in the house.
Yeah,
No.
right?
No, you know why I said that's fine? Because she most likely she's gonna bring a friend with her. You understand what I'm saying? So then when she gets comfortable and see that, then she'll merge out. But you can't just attack a girl and be like, hey.
Why is it an attack?
It is attack because you guys, we have.
You guys.
Yes.
You're-
Most
you're
of you
attractive.
guys. Most of you guys.
That's what I'm saying.
Listen. Can I say why
Go ahead,
I
go
say
ahead.
it's attack? Because you guys are hunters, right? So you guys are always prowling, right?
That's
So
what
that-
you think of us, though.
And women
But
are
that's what it
gatherers.
is.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
gatherers.
You're right. We gather.
You keep an abundance. When Tyrone don't work, I call Mike. When Mike don't work, I call Steve.
You know what?
This man don't have what I need.
You want to know what? I agree with you 100%.
You've been wrong. You've been wrong.
I agree with you. No, I told you. I agree with you that nowadays it is what it is because you guys had it like that too.
So, ladies and gents, we're running out of time. Is there any last words you want to leave our listeners?
I would like to
Make
say
it quick,
something
please.
out
Go
there.
ahead.
Just be emotional and intellectually attached to your spouse, man. Don't just give up because it's not going right in the beginning.
Absolutely. Vic, go ahead, my man.
As a man, we gotta learn how to talk, gentlemen. Express what you feel, say how you feel, and go with your feelings.
Absolutely. Miss
Be
Coney.
your authentic self and know how you've been socialized.
Absolutely. Miss
Love
Lala.
yourself, then you can love someone else.
Go, Miss Wu-Tang Gang.
Wu-Tang's gonna say, I'm with James, you start with the dollar menu.
That's right. That's right.
And my first question would be, can you bring me home with sex?
Hey, so
What's the 6? Don't just
So, ladies and gents, we're wrapping up right now. I just want to leave you with one quote: "The opposite of love is not hate; it's indifference. The opposite of art is not ugliness; it's indifference. The opposite of faith is not heresy; it's indifference. And the opposite of life is not death; it's indifference." That is from the Mr. Eli Wiesel. So, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to our show. 1 hour just went just like that. Thank you so much to our panelists for coming on and sharing their perspective. Okay, let's go. Keep knocking. Keep rocking. We'll holla.